I've been seeing a lot more players picking up the Gremlin and not utilizing all his abilities, which is why I'm here to give out some bits of advice to help steer the fellows in a better direction. So the biggest thing about Sableye that people need to understand when you're playing him is that you want to be constantly using your boosted auto attack. When you're in stealth, after hitting an opponent, you will be dealing damage and applying a fear effect on your enemies for 1 second. Which is why you want to be utilizing Prankster invisibility alongside using your boosted auto so you can apply this fear. It helps out your teammates. It helps to disrupt their enemies. It helps to disrupt certain Pokemon moves. Like you can cancel certain moves entirely just by Prankster auto attacking them, and it helps to set up into your other abilities like Knock Off and Confuse Ray. The next big thing I want to talk about is people doing raw knockoffs and Confuse Rays. I've been seeing a lot of players just doing this, going around walking invisible while invisible and going straight up knockoff or just throwing out a Confuse Ray by itself. That is very bad because they're pretty much slow projectiles. Like Confuse Ray is pretty slow. If your opponent is just is paying attention onto the screen, they can still dodge it. And also Knock Off, they can simply sidestep you if you are a little far away from them. And I get that maybe you're just throwing them out as a panic option, which is fine because you know we all can sometimes get a little freaked out and sometimes just start using abilities. I also do that too sometimes, but the general gist of things is that you want to be leading with your boosted auto into your other abilities so that you can maximize the amount of stun that you are giving and potentially setting up for your own teammates. Another thing with knockoff I've been seeing many players do is just using the first and third hit of knockoff. Knockoff has 3 parts to it. You have the first part, 1, 2, and then 3, which is the third hit is activatable it can be activated within the second swipe. So 1, 2, and in the middle of the second swipe you can use your third swipe. What makes this very neat is that you can use the third hit of knockoff to displace, and a thing that I've been seeing folks been doing is just using the first hit of knockoff into the third hit, which you are missing out on the second swipe damage. So there's right there you have like 1,700, and if you only use the first and third hit, you're also potentially losing out on hitting that third hit because since the nerfs to knockoff, certain Pokemon can actually just walk out of knockoff and just get out of your range, which is why it's really important to get really close and personal so that you can get the third hit of knockoff off. And I get that people are trying to hit it to like a setup for their teammates, trying to get the Pokemon closer to their allies, but there is definitely a better way to do this. This is why it's a really good idea to lead with your boosted auto first and then go into knockoff if you want to set up for your teammates and push enemies towards your opponent, like towards over here in this area. 1, 2. It's a little bit tricky to get the timing down there, especially for newer players, but you can get the second hit of knockoff and still push your opponents back with the third hit. So once again, 1, 2, 3. Now there are certain Pokemon that can get out of knockoff or use moves in the middle of knockoff, which is why for these targets you want to lead with your Prankster Boosted Auto into Confuse Ray. So this, and then while that's going on, you can then use knockoff on them to increase the duration of stun that you're providing for your team. You're just going to have to Boosted Auto into Confuse Ray first, and then knock off before the duration ends. That was also just knock off wall bug. That's just a problem that we're having this season. Just yeah, that's not supposed to happen like that, but you know, that's hopefully that'll get fixed soon. And please, no more raw knockoffs, no more raw confused race, or at the very least, a little bit less of that a whole bunch of times. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. This has been the Hinkley Ghost, signing out.